We're back with Inside Texas with the Girl Herd. Today we have special guest RT, author of Longhorn Alphabet.
That's right. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it. This is one of my two big spots to get to promote the book this week. I was telling you all before we jumped on, I'm going to be on one of the morning shows in Austin at the 9 o'clock hour later this week. So really get the grandma crowd covered. Then it's going to be one of those sets that has a kitchen next to a couch, so you guys know exactly what type of show we're talking about there. But yeah, I wrote a book called The Longhorn Alphabet, Texas Football A to Z. It's officially licensed by UT. It is a children's book, but honestly, I think it's just a great book for Longhorn, burnt orange loving families to, start their relationships around the horns together. It's really written at an elementary school reading level, I would say, but it could appeal to a 4 and 5 year old learning how to read, fine tuning, sanding down their understanding of the alphabet, all the way up to fifth, sixth, seventh grader that wants to dive a little bit deeper into some fun facts, inside jokes about the Longhorns, maybe learn about some players and some moments that they weren't otherwise familiar with.
Well, I love that you're on the morning show. I think perfect target audience as we were coming to speak with you today. I saw that Drew Kelson of Inside Texas, he said his daughters love it. So he was posting it on Twitter last week. And I was like, what would this book be good for? Definitely a good baby shower gift, definitely good children's B-days or stocking stuffer. So everyone be on the lookout, longhornalphabet.com.
Yeah, appreciate it. Hopefully check it out. Or I was from a divided household growing up. So I've mentioned a couple times, if you are also from a divided household, this is how you might win in the argument. So,
Well, I mean, we want to chop it up with you. Let's get into some football.
Sounds great. Let's do it.
There's been a lot that's happened. So since we last recorded, obviously talking about portal, and it opened within the last week, and within a couple of days, we've had lots going on and hit some key targets. So I think we're all pretty excited as Longhorn fans of who we were able to get. Let's talk about how we feel about it.
Yeah, I think obviously it's pretty exciting. We've been talking about the past couple of weeks that we need a tight end, and we definitely got one of those, which is really exciting coming from Cal. He had an amazing year last year, one of the top tight ends that's been in the portal. So super excited to get him on campus and get him going with the guys and see how he fits into this offense and learning the schemes and stuff that we have planned and what's going on with Arch. So I'm really excited for that one. I think, we still have some room there for sure to add some more folks, but step one, glad we got him.
Yeah, I think all of my panic from last week's show, it went away. And I honestly don't even know, I do know why I was panicking because I'm not a patient person. And also I still think some of the spark and just the names from last year compared to this year, it's just a little bit of a different feel. But when I tell you they delivered by Friday, we were kicking our feet up on Good Friday, and all the questions that I had got answered. So I'm dying to know, RT, what are your thoughts at this point regarding roster and what we've done?
Yeah, obviously, like y'all mentioned, it's been a quieter spring portal window across college football in general. I think, as a Longhorn fan, you might rue that a little bit, but I think it's overall a little bit better for the health of the sport. The fact that you see maybe some teams that are spending a little bit more on roster retention, because you really haven't seen guys like the caliber of Trey Moore and Matthew Golden hit the portal as much this year as they did last year. But Jack Indries was a huge addition. Obviously, for a young quarterback like Arch Manning, you really want to have that safety blanket and experienced tight end like young Quinn Ewers had with Jatavian Sanders. He's super impressive yards after the catch, so I'm really pumped about him. And then can't have any more games come down to we missed chip shot field goals. So I think getting Mason Shipley from Texas State was huge. Because special teams was just way too much of a roller coaster ride last year. So that was obviously a big addition. And on the defensive tackle front, Friday was obviously crazy, but I'm it always excites me that Steve Sarkisian is just relentless when it comes to portal acquisition and player acquisition, and that he never stops trying to add talented players to his program. And that's what he said. So I don't think he's necessarily done yet if the right person comes up on the defensive line, which is really exciting too.
Yeah, I would love to be on the other end of those phone calls, right? Like you mentioned, Levon was committed elsewhere, and then the same day, like later that day, he flips and comes to Texas. Like, what are those little magical things that Sark is saying to these guys that's really getting them to buy into this program and flip their commits to these schools? Like, I would love to be on a fly in the wall for those conversations.
I don't know. You think of like North Carolina was always one of the schools that you associate with Jordan and the most swag game, and you team that up with Bill Belichick and his cutoff hoodies, and maybe he was just like, no, I don't want to be a part of that. North Carolina is no longer cool.
Instantly lose cred with a cutoff sweatshirt when you're Bill Belichick.
But you, of course, made the comment about us getting a kicker, and we joked, of course, on our text chain on this side, but when we were talking about holes that we had before, I almost said it, and I was like, I'm not going to say it. I'm going to keep it to myself, like that's something we need to fix, or like, get somebody from the portal, and then boom, like it happens back to back. Our kicker enters and then we get one, and I was like, oh, thank God. Like, I was going to joke about it, but very, very happy. We were at that game, the SEC championship, and all of us were just like, we can't have that again. Don't mess with my emotions like that. So I hope we have good stuff coming.
You see that even when you've reached the level of a program like Texas has reached the past couple of years under Sark, you can still be undone by a kicker who was, really reliable throughout his career, like Bert Auburn was, just all of a sudden losing confidence. And so in last year, punting was a little bit of a wild ride. So nobody is immune from special teams, which is obviously, in some ways, it's kind of nice. It's a little bit of the great equalizer in college football.
Yeah, I think those points are so key because we've gotten right to the game before the dance 2 years in a row. So it is those little things, and I'm glad that Sark is paying attention. I also wonder, we wish Bert the best, and I wonder his feelings, if he has any relief, because I know how we all felt watching, and we all want them to succeed. And I actually didn't know until I looked it up today that he only connected on 66% last year, and it didn't feel like it was that low of a percent connect. And so it was like, oh, wow, like, this really was a whole thing. And so, it's nice to see the shift. And I think, it'll be interesting. And I saw the punter move as well. And hopefully special teams is on a different level as we need them to be.
Love that you brought up special teams. That's kind of a perfect segue for us to talk about another special guy that came to the 40 acres, and Jonah Williams and his breakout on the baseball field. What are y'all's thoughts?
Love it. I love that Coach Losh was like, yeah, by the way, like I had to put this man out there. People have been waiting, but the way he delivered is just so awesome. And to see that he's going to be such a great two-sport player, we're getting to see it right now, right away in baseball. It's super exciting for all Longhorns, I think.
I love that he was like, all right, I'm putting Jonah in, so all you football fans also come watch baseball and get excited. But I think it's really cool, the dynamic that they're playing there. Again, it speaks to our coaches and the culture as well of, we're in spring, and Sark can be like, I need this guy now. I need him to fit with my team, but he's not. He's like, go on, play, the baseball team needs you. We need you everywhere. We'll fit you in when you're complete. And then look at what he did, man. Like, swept Auburn this weekend. That was great.
Yeah, I think Jonah is obviously one of the most exciting athletes Texas has had on campus in a long time. There are a couple things that jump out. One, he should be going to prom right now. He should be.
Yeah,
this should be this should be the second semester of his senior year. And then also, he was really on the baseball front. He was really billed as a pitcher. But he broke his collarbone in his, I think, third game for Galveston Ball in football season in the fall. So he's not able to pitch this year. And who knows if he ever pitches for Texas. I would think that my speculation would be that he might not, especially if this keeps going as well as it is in the field, running the bases, hitting the ball really well. But obviously, Joe Cook and I, we talked about some of the best two-sport athletes that Texas has ever had, like James Street, Marquise Goodwin on football and track, Keith Moreland. You would think at some point Jonah Williams will have to decide which direction he goes, but for now, I think all Texas fans should just enjoy this. And it's not a gimmick. They need Jonah Williams. They need some more consistency hitting in that from the outfield roles, and then they also need much better speed, much better threats to steal bases. Obviously, that's why Schloss has stuck with Jaden Duplantier despite his struggles at the plate. So I was thrilled. I was tuned in for all 3 games just to watch on Jonah watch, as they say.
I love just hearing the stadium roar when he came out there and was making plays, and just he brings that football swagger to the baseball field, which I also love. And the team, you can feel the excitement that the team has from this 17-year-old, which is wild, but so excited to see what he continues to do.
Same. I mean, we keep talking about the depth that we have. We have so much going on, so much to be excited about in this next week, as well as the portal's still open, draft's coming. And I know we want to keep talking about this, but let's take a moment for our sponsors, Luxe Kitchen and Bath.
This video is brought to you by Luxe Kitchen and Bath. Luxe has been offering high-end kitchen and bathroom remodels for 3 generations throughout the greater Austin area. With 5-star review after 5-star review on Google and Facebook, and an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau, you can put your faith in Luxe Kitchen and Bath's award-winning designers and skilled craftspeople to bring to life that dream vision of your special home. But that's not all. Luxe's all-star team provides full remodels, large additions, and even commercial build-outs as well. So call Luxe Kitchen and Bath at 833-358-LUXE today. Or visit luxekitchenbath.com to discover where quality meets luxury and begin the process of transforming your home. Get a free quote today by calling 833-358-LUXE. That's LUXE. Or by visiting luxekitchenbath.com. Link in the description.
All right, so draft this week, you guys. We have how many players in the draft? They're talked about how we could have the most ever that get drafted in a single year, which is, look at us go. It's nice to be back here.
I know we hit a record last year and we're going for another one this year. So I will be set. I can't wait. And hopefully we have, I think right now Kelvin Banks is actually potentially coming to the Texans. So, all those mock boards, they'll switch around, but
I don't know how I'm going to feel if Golden goes to the Cowboys.
Yeah.
I did hear some great things about Kelvin's visit with the Texans, so that makes me really freaking excited. Obviously, CJ needs a lot more protection, which Kelvin can deliver. And I mean, we love when they stay around and get to still be in Texas and be with family and other teams that we support. I would also not be mad to see him go to the Saints because you guys know I do also support them, but here for the Texans.
I think if he falls to 25 to the Texans, that is truly highway robbery. I don't understand. I think he's a example of paralysis by analysis. He almost has too much tape that he started for too long, and I think that it gives scouts and it gives draft people, and it remains to be seen, do team people feel the same way that draft people on Twitter and on the websites feel. But I think there's too much to evaluate, and people are picking holes in every aspect of Kelvin Banks's game. But I watched him for 3 years and I never saw any holes in his game. So I don't understand. If he falls to 25, that is just absolute. That's a steal for the Texans, and Texans fans should throw a party.
Hopefully they'll want him bad enough that they trade up to get him.
Yeah. I mean, he would be worth it for sure.
Who else are you guys really excited to see draft day?
I mean, I'm super pumped for Jahdae Barron. I think obviously the journey that Longhorn fans got to see him go on from a local kid to, the way that he got to Texas from originally being committed to Baylor, and then Matt Rule leaving, coming to Texas, flashing a little bit in the COVID season, not really finding the field until late 2021, almost transferring, and then coming back, huge 2022 season, wearing Michael Huff's jersey, winning the Thorpe Award. I just think that's one of the most fun player-fan relationships that Longhorn fans have been gifted in a long time. So I'm excited for wherever he ends up, but I do hope it'd be cool to see him obviously in one of like the classic jerseys, that you associate with defense, whether that's the Steelers, whether that's the Vikings, somebody like that. I'm an NFL bandwagon fan. I'm the way about the NFL that most people are with the NBA. So I just root for Longhorns in the NFL. So I just want him to go to a good situation along with Matthew Golden.
It does help to like be a part of a fantasy team and then just pick all of your Longhorns, so then you can just be excited with all of that.
I did that last year and I got made fun of. They were like, Devin, I know this is your team and you picked all Longhorns. And
do you know who we are? This is on brand, okay?
It's starting to actually be where that could work out as a good strategy. Yeah. I mean, there were some times where no disrespect to some of the people that came before, but when Fozzie was the third running back for the Panthers and the best wide receiver that played for Texas in the NFL was like Marcus Johnson as the fourth receiver for the Eagles. If you were trying to build a fantasy team out of Longhorn players, it was looking pretty rough unless you were, really hoping for a lot of points from the kicker position. But now, you can really start to build a fantasy team of all Longhorns with Xavier Worthy and A.D. Mitchell, now Matthew Golden, Bijan, obviously. So, yeah, it's pretty exciting.
And how appropriate for the convo, right? We've been discussing transfer portal. We've been discussing depth. So all credit to Sark there, right? RT, the fact that we hit a record in the draft last year, it's looking like we're headed right there again. Truly, while this portal is open and during any recruiting window, Angie, you mentioned what magic words is he saying? And honestly, a lot of these recruits are saying things like wide receivers go to the NFL from Texas. So they're seeing that, and it's just he's laid such a great foundation. And man, it's a great time to be a Longhorn. There's nothing else to say about it, really.
Agreed.
I thought I was going to be able to, that this would be the audience for Jordan Whittington, Madison Skinner dating convo. I heard from speaking of moms and grandmas, I heard from my mom, my mother-in-law, multiple other people, and some men as well. From my main Longhorn group text, it was brought up that this was a potential power couple on the Sonia Richards-Ross, Aaron Ross level. So
you're on the girl herd text thread, because every single thing you just said, power couple, Michelle said that, Sonia and A Ross, Angie said that, and we absolutely were trading the screenshots from IG. We are so into this. It's adorable. Love them both great Longhorns, and really just happy for them.
Bring on more of the hard launches. We're here for it.
Yeah, I was showing people that don't even know who they are. Like, I was just so excited. Like, I need you to understand how great these people are and how I want them to be happy. Like,
I know, it was funny. I kept having people send it to me too. Like, is this y'all bad a volleyball player? And I was like, it is.
I was wondering, is that the 2025 way of going Facebook official? You kind of post a vague Instagram story of somebody? Because I was like, when my wife and I started dating sophomore year at UT, you did the full like in a relationship with on the old Facebook. So
yes, it's now called a hard launch. When you
I feel like that was kind of a soft launch. Like,
well, but then there was an actual post.
Oh.
I didn't see the actual post.
There's a post, and there's a photo of the two of them in it. So I think that qualifies as a hard launch.
Yeah.
But as we're talking kind of like about this, can we also say who we are most excited to see what they're going to wear for NFL draft night? I mean, y'all know Jade is going to come rocking something good.
Well, I know. I mean, I loved of course, we just saw the WNBA. Like we were talking about their outfits a little bit. I'm pumped. You always see them going out. We saw them when they would do their walk, through and up into the stadium, what they would be wearing. So you can only imagine what they're going to wear on draft night.
I've only seen confirmation that Matthew Golden is going. I don't think Kelvin Banks is going. I haven't seen anything about Jade, so that'll be interesting to see if he shows up. Obviously, it's good. It's good for Sark. 3 first-round picks will speak for itself, but it's good for Sark if they do go, because you want to be dabbing as many people up in the green room that played for your team as possible. That was the Nick Saban role for many years, but I think it might just be Matthew Golden.
Yeah, not a Longhorn player, but one that I am watching is also not going to the draft anymore. He was the Ole Miss quarterback, Jackson Dart. So, I mean, he's like laced up in the Jordans on game day and it's like iced out. I mean, a Texas quarterback, we would probably never even allow something like that. But I want to see what he wears. Even if he doesn't attend, maybe he'll have some sort of watch party, but he's always got the flashy look. So that's what I'm most looking forward to.
I mean, Travis Hunter and Shador will definitely be in something spectacular for sure.
Oh yeah.
The drip will be dripping.
I don't know what that means, but
I have an 18-year-old nephew, and so he teaches me all the new terms.
Oh man.
that could be in the children's, the teenager version of the children's book.
Yes.
Whenever that comes out, the sequel.
Yeah. Just ask us. We can help you with the lingo.
Yeah.
What needs to be in your next children.
Yeah, my 8-year-old nephew has been calling me and my brother-in-law his dad. We've been told that we're sus a lot, so that's a new one. So
sus.
Yeah.
Sus, yeah. You don't want to be called sus. That is not.
It's mainly when he gets in trouble, but
yeah, makes sense.
Yeah. You want to disassociate from the sus.
Yeah.
All right, we're having too much fun, but we'll continue this throughout the week, and I can't wait. RT, we're going to have to add you to our text chain now so we can talk about all the drip that's going to happen in the NFL draft.
Yeah, now that I know what that means. Yeah. Definitely add me the next time a Longhorn power couple comes up, because I'm not above being very interested in that. So
love it.
Thanks, guys, for listening, and stay tuned to us next week.